Ahoy mates, I'm Zelanis, welcome to my den. Today we are playing Medieval Fantasy Survival Simulator, one of the other games that I got alongside with the test, also made by Random Studios. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know what it is, so let's just get into the game. Well, look at what the storm dragged in. If it isn't another wanderer seeking knowledge and self-reflection, I've seen many of your kind, you know. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Malicious Decimus. Bad guy decimating. Soldier, general, instructor, and keeper of the lost art of warfare, also possibly a flaming homosexual. I've hunted down evil men across the lands and did very bad things to their buttholes. I've slain beasts with my bare hands and engaged in necrophilia. I have toppled kings who sit up high and I made them go down under me because I am a dummy, I guess. I've seen hellfire rain from the sky and now it is normal rain because thankfully it's not really a common occurrence. If you've come to test your mettle, then you come to the right man. But if you come for looking for trouble, perhaps you should rethink your plan. Here we go with the fucking grabs again. Something tells me that you are not here for that, no. You are here for something else. Yes, starts undressing or unarmoring seductively. Something more modest than combat. You are here to test yourself. See if you have what it takes to cut it in a war-torn kingdom. Marching on the battlefield, playing war games in politics and devising strategies of destruction. You are here to see just how far your spirit can take you. See if you have the sense to stay alive in a dangerous situation. To see whether your path leads to golden riches or certain death. I'm also checking, I'm barely above the music, so I'm taking it a little bit back in the VOD. Just a little bit. Also, hi viewer, welcome to the den. Thank you for joining this early. So, yes. I can already tell that you aren't like the others that lay beneath our fate. There is something about you that's just different. Mind you, different does not mean worthy. Let's find out what may or may not set you apart from the rest, shall we? I'm going to present you with a series of... Oh, it's going to be the same kind as the previous ones. Okay, so previous 3 days I've been playing the test, which was a psychological, semi-horror, mainly uplifting, motivational poster kind of game. Basically, it's a very fucking long game where they ask you questions and you have to answer them, and then they are going to give you some predetermined paths depending on your answers. Bleh. I don't know if the people who made this actually know what they are doing, because the psychological ones, I can tell, was not really professional. Hobbyist, potentially, maybe early university student thingamajig, but proper professional, no. That it wasn't. And I'm actually now curious if this medieval fantasy survival simulator is actually up to the task, because I, myself, a survival enthusiast, if that is a term, basically, I'm not a prepper. Like, I don't have a factor of things in my fucking cupboard in case something happens. Nor do I have routes checked on my map to know which one I can take if I need to, you know, scramble for safety. But on the... I'm actually bringing down the music because I think I'm a little bit loud and my mother is in the other room sleeping, so... But I was talking about, yeah. I like the... What's the word for it in English? Potential? Not potential. Elméleti. Fuck. So I like to look into the science and possibly the history of, you know, survival situations. Look into scenarios and shit. And also look into how to actually fucking survive. Like, I know how to fucking dig a latrine, where to dig a latrine. Very important by the fucking by. Some very basic herbal medicine that I also possess a book about, so that I'm not really in touch with. But I know how to make basic furnace, basic mud house, mud and clay house, how to make mortar, you know, stuff like that. Also know how to fucking make projectiles and shit. And technically very basic firearms, though that's indeed very basic. Like, you know, the pistol that was made from a 20mm shell, basically. I could make that. It's very basic, seriously. Also, I can know how to make crossbows and normal bows, but that's actually very easy. You just need to know what kind of wood and how to make them. What kind of wood to use and how to make them. Anywho, so I'm not going to say that I'm an expert about this whole survival thingamajig, but I can see if these fuckers are. Basically, if they are on the same level as me, then they are just a fucking enthusiast about this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to present you a series of questions and scenarios that you are going to provide answers, solutions, and plans of actions for me. Some of your answers may be well, some of them not so much. But rest assured, you will be judged accordingly. The most important part of this examination is to take your time and answer with complete and utter honesty. Do not rush. Do not falter. The solution to many of these scenarios may be obvious at first, but I urge you to take your time and think about them thoroughly before providing an answer. Which is going to take a fuck ton of time. The Steam page says it's like an hour or so, but as previously seen, it can take up to 3 hours. So I'm kinda skeptical about the fastness of this, but we are going to do this nonetheless. It would be wise to remember those words as we progress. Now let's get started. We don't have time to kill. Only enemies. Many enemies. The examination begins now. Would you consider yourself to be patient? I like that music. And yes, I would consider myself to be patient. I'm easily not offended, but angered. As long as stuff is not going according to plans or conceived notions. However, if I'm not in a high-stress situation, I'm very fucking patient with people. I think. So yes, I would consider myself to be patient. Would you consider yourself to be perfect? That is a definite no. There are not much things in life that I fear. Besides death, of course, but that's just, survival. Otherwise, usually... in situations, my fight or flight response is fight and avoid, or how it's called in English. Avoid and retaliate. So I don't consider myself fearful, though fearful as in, synonym with coward. But I also like, basic fear responses in sometimes, so not even just normal fear, I guess. No, I'm not saying I am a badass, I'm saying I'm stupid. Do you believe in the existence of a higher power? How does it supposed to help me in fucking survival situations? No. Would you consider yourself to be brave? Yes. As I said. Would you consider yourself to be intelligent? I'm an intelligent being. Would you consider yourself to be charismatic? That's a definite no. Have you ever engaged in hand-to-hand combat? Yes, I live in Eastern Europe. That's kinda thing here. Would you say that you hate losing? Of course. Would you consider yourself to be a sore loser? Not necessarily. We had competitions and shit, and if I lose, I usually don't bitch about it. The time when I bitch about something is when there is an actual problem, you know. Like when I do the Dying Light playthrough, and Crane doesn't fucking do what I'm tell him to do, you know, through the fucking keyboard, because you have to fucking press a fuck on things at once, for example. But no, I wouldn't consider myself a sore loser as long as it's, you know, competitions. When you consider yourself to be a sore winner, that's not a thing. I just don't believe that that's a thing. Would you consider yourself to be athletically fit? No. I mean, I consider myself to be slightly stronger than usual, but I definitely am not fit. I'm a little bit fat. Would you consider yourself to be physically strong? Yes, as I said, I'm kinda strong boy. Not much. I say that whilst I had problems fucking knocking a crossbow. Well, I guess that's because I cannot usually use my play. English should have half of the fucking consonants it uses. No, not as in the alphabet, in the words. Consonants are doing this all the fucking time. They're doing love in my sentences, and I'm very Anywho, would you consider yourself to be a natural leader? Not a natural one. I can be a leader, but would you consider yourself to be agile? Back in the day, I was. Nowadays, I don't think so because of my back and knees. When you consider yourself to be more flexible, yeah, flexible I am still am. As in, you know, that. Oh, kind of tries to break, but if I have a better surface than, you know, a fucking gaming chair, I think I can put my leg behind my head. Also, I'm constantly sitting in, you know, Turkish sitting, like this. I also think my hands are kind of flexible. Not the bullshit flexible when you can, you know, bring them back really much, but flexible enough to, you know, use a fuck ton of saber techniques that are reliant on you having either a flexible wrist or a flexible. This is the shoulder, this is the wrist, what is fucking between them? Not the knees, that's on your legs. So, this flexibility. So I think I'm more flexible than the average person, unless the average person is fucking flexible, like me. When you consider common sense to be one of your strong points? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be open-minded? I'm usually open-minded, but there are stuff that just that I just categorically reject. Like, for example, I'm not really happy about this pride thingamajig. First, I don't see the reason why they should get more attention than normal people. Second, why are you prideful that you are not going to contribute to society via offspring? The reason humans come together and do this is to make offspring. And also because we are naturally, you know, wired to do it because of the Joy response. You enjoy doing it, and because of that you are doing it. Humans usually counter that kind of thought, but we are humans, we are intelligent. No, that doesn't fucking matter. This engagement, interpersonal engagement, sole purpose is to make offspring. You deciding to do it with somebody that you cannot do it with, you know, the reproduction thing, is just straight up stupid to me, and I'm not willing to recognize any of their other points because of this. When we are going to have fucking cloning facilities to just, you know, put your DNA somewhere, have a clone and have them do shit, then I'm not going to give a shit about them. Otherwise, please at least try to help humanity not die out. Thank you. But yes, otherwise I think I'm open-minded. You know, as long as it's not bullshitting stupid. Would you consider yourself to be quick-witted conversationally? No. Would you consider yourself as clever? I said that I'm intelligent. Though clever and intelligent are two different things. Intelligent is usually all of humanity. They are intelligent, even the stupid ones. Clever would be like above average intelligence. I guess a little bit. I have knowledge, that is definite. And I'm kinda quick to learn new stuff, so I guess. Would you say that you are a people person? Definitely no. Would you say that you are a people pleaser? No. Are you afraid of what others think of you? I don't give a shit of what others think of me. Do you have any irrational fears that you consider to be embarrassing? Not really. I mean, I say quite a lot of usually embarrassing stuff here on streams because I just don't have any qualms about it, so no. Can you speak more than one language fluently? My English is as fluent as my Hungarian, and I like to think that my Hungarian is fluent, so that's going to be a yes. Would you consider yourself to be hot-headed? Yeah. I mean, I can be hot-headed, and if somebody is actually, you know, threatening me, I'm not backing down. Why am I looking at the freaking wardrobe / bookcase? Here is the goddamn camera. Zoltan, look into the fucking camera. It even has a light near it. Just look into the light, Zoltan. Anyway, do you ever feel that sometimes enjoy conflict? Sadly, yes. Do you generally attempt to avoid conflict whenever possible? No. Not even generally, sadly. I think. Like, if I don't have to, I usually don't. But if it's trivial, I'm not backing down. Would you consider yourself to be a free thinker? Yeah. Open-mindedness and being a free thinker is supposedly be the same thing for me, but would you consider yourself to be prideful? Good question, because I don't give a fuck about what others think of me. And whilst I constantly tell that I'm this good boy and strong boy and brave boy and all the good kinds of boy, I'm kinda just making it for fun. Doing it for fun. And I think pridefulness is a outwards thing, that you want other people think that you are of high stature or something. Because of the thing you do. I don't really think about that because I don't give a fuck about other people's opinions. So, no, I don't think I'm prideful. Would you consider yourself to be judgmental? Judgmental, I really am. I judge other people quite often. You know, like the depths of this game. Do you sometimes enjoy eavesdropping on others' conversation? enjoy, I wouldn't say so, but I do eavesdrop on other people's conversation. For example, my brothers. I come out to the kitchen to grab a bite or get rid of the plates and shit that I used to, have the bite from here. And usually at the night he talks to other people on the internet. And I usually eavesdrop on them. I also sometimes eavesdrop on my mother or grandmother when they talk on the phone, just to hear what they are talking about. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, I'm just doing it to be more to know what is going on in the freaking house. Have you ever been betrayed by a friend? By a friend? Well, they usually stop being friends after the betrayal. I guess in grade school it happened. One of my friends gave me out to the bullies. Though grade school bullying was a bit weird because at that time I didn't give a fuck about my education. I was a preteen, under 10. So I went to fights without ever thinking twice about it. Which means most of the bullying was me chasing after people who called me things. They sometimes thought that they are strong and stopped and stood up against me. And that was when I got them with this part of the body that I still don't remember. Elbow! Fucking elbow. I kinda liked using it back in the day. Now I'm more like a kicking guy, to be perfectly honest. And a throwing guy. I can safely say this. If you are bigger than me, don't fucking think that I cannot throw you around. Seriously. Not saying I'm an expert, but I know some stuff. Sadly from experience. Anyway, yes, I would say that I have been betrayed by a friend. Have you ever been betrayed by a family member? That I cannot say. The closest family member that could have done that would be my brother, and even he was kind of protective of me when I was young, and afterwards it didn't fucking matter. I was strong enough to defend myself. Have I ever betrayed someone close to me? Betrayal is a strong word, like, the thing that ends friendships. And I don't think I did that. I have lied to them, I have got some people into inconvenient positions, but betrayal I don't think happened. Would you ever kill an animal? I have killed animals. Have you ever killed an animal? Yes. Sadly, ones that I actually liked. And others that I ate afterwards. Village life. Do you think you could manage to survive alone in the wilderness for 30 days? Not with my back anymore. Alone. The alone thing is the problem. Also, what kind of wilderness? Because if it's Hungarian wilderness, it's a problem of getting food, because there are not much things that can kill you. We don't have bears, and the wolves we have are very few and far between. If I would be dropped in, the American wilderness, when there are fucking bears and wolves and lynxes and all the other stuff that can eat you easily, I don't think I could. And I guess the creators are Americans, so they think about that. So no, I wouldn't survive in your fucking wilderness for 30 days. Would you consider to be a strategist? Yes, I like strategy games. You consider to be a warrior? Not anymore. I mean, I'm easily enraged. I know how to fight. I have experience. But I wouldn't consider myself to be a warrior because I'm just not fit for service. So no, not anymore. Would you consider yourself to be resourceful? Resourceful, I think I am. I can go MacGyver with the crafting, kind of. It's not really that hard to be perfect honest. If you know what does what, you know, a little bit of physics, science, mainly material toughness, what can you make into sharp objects, yada yada yada. That's something that you can learn in like 10 minutes via magazine. And though retaining that information is a different thing once again, but details. So I think I'm resourceful. When you consider yourself to be mentally healthy, maybe the space is the skip. Mentally healthy. I mean, I have some stuff like PTSD, but I almost said who doesn't, and there are a lot of people who doesn't have PTSD. Also, because of that, PTSD is actually like a hard thing, and I might not even have it. I mean, I have traumas, but I don't think that's a disorderly thing. It is affecting me, but it's not affecting me so hard that, you know, that I need to be helped in society. So yes, I think I'm at least healthy enough. And you also have to be well educated. I don't have higher education. I have high school plus 1.5 year of OKE. I don't know what's in English. Basically, supplementary courses to give you a chance to do certain stuff. Like pénzügyi számviteli ügyintéző is the one that I actually finished, and I did half a year as an accountant, but I couldn't finish it because life happened. Because of that, no, I don't think I am well educated. I mean, I educate myself, but that's not education that you can actually put in your fucking resume, so no, I don't think so. Do you enjoy playing with fire? Definitely not. Have you ever been afraid of the dark? Back in the day when I was a kid, yes. Have you ever had a phobia of spiders? No. I mean, I didn't like them, nor do I like them now, but it's not a phobia. I'm more likely to kill them than to, you know, leave the room or something. Would you ever consider a job in security? Yeah, sure. Would you consider yourself to be a talented chef? No. I don't know how to cook a lot of things, at least not from experience. I know some stuff in theory, but as I haven't made more complicated meals than instant noodles, very basic soup. Okay, just put the fucking carrots and potato in there, plus whatever meat is there. Boil it until the meat is, you know, like this, and it's melting, and then there you go, soup. But that's kinda my limits. Do you follow directions easily? Directions, yes. Would you consider yourself to be innovative? I think so. Because my logic is kinda twisted, I think I usually come up with solutions that other people don't. It doesn't mean that solutions are any better than the others, but they're different at least. So yes, I think I am innovative. Would you consider yourself to be competitive? No, I usually try to do, you know, not competitive, but cooperative stuff. I like having allies better than, you know, doing races, not races. Races also, but competitions. The word is right in front of me, why I'm not using it? So no, I wouldn't say that I'm competitive per se. When you consider to be a winner in life, I don't have a job. Has a field of toxic levy ever Yes, I actually read a paper about medieval Arab toxicology a little bit back then. Could you ever see yourself living as a farmer? I lived as a farmer for a little bit when I was in the village. Would you consider yourself to be a gambler? Sadly, yes, my aunt made me. Would you consider yourself to be talented in an unusual way? As I said, I usually make weird logical conclusions. Supposedly. For me, it's perfectly logical, but for other people, it not necessarily is. Like, yesterday, I did character creation for the strategy game I'm going to be running. My own strategy game. I made it myself. Praise me. And one of the guys told me that the information is presented some places in a very weird way. Like, I should have made into a tablazat, a spreadsheet, instead of just making bullet points and stuff. Because that was very much not understandable? Thingamachingable? Don't know. And also, in the character creation, you are assigning points, and if you assign points in a certain manner, you get titles. And my logic is that I put the point requirements first and the titles afterwards. But the guy told me that it would be better the other way around, because people are going to look for the titles more often, because they are going to do their characters conceptually. So they are going to see a nice title and they are going to work around that instead of doing their points and then see if it matches anything. So, yeah. For my logic, the way I presented it was making sense, but for the usual perspective, no, it wasn't. Also, one of the other guys, computer guy, an IT specialist, actually found my way more informative. So, but I guess it's because they usually look at code instead of look at spreadsheets. Anyway, I guess that's a talent. Could you envision yourself enjoying life of a battlefield surgeon? Ah, not really. I mean, if I learned a thing, how to do it. Yeah, to be honest, that might be fulfilling in a way. I don't mind the danger, nor the blood. If I learn how to do it properly and actually help people, I could maybe enjoy that. Could you imagine yourself enjoying the life as an alchemist? As a chemist? Yeah, sure, I like actually concocting stuff. Back in the high school, chemistry was one of my favorite subjects and we did a lot of experiments. Thankfully, I didn't blow up anything expensive. Would you consider yourself to be self-motivated? I don't consider myself to be motivated in general. Like, if I want to do something, I'm not doing it because I motivate myself to do it. I do it because I get a flight of E, not impression. E. Fug. I know what word I'm looking for, but I don't know how it's called. E. You know what artists get when they see their muse or something. Anyway, I'm not self-motivated. Do you ever find you lack discipline? Sometimes, yes. Would you consider yourself to be a cautious individual? Definitely. Would you consider yourself to be protective of your loved ones? Yeah. Like when we are going to the convenience store, the actual convenience store, you know, the small one. With my mother, there are sometimes gypsies on the road, and that is when I get in front of her and reach into my pocket where the knife is. So I guess that's protectiveness. That's just an example, by the by. Could you see yourself finding happiness even if you were the only person left to live on Earth? I guess. I mean, I like... what's the word for it? Why does my vocabulary failing me today? Why? Stop it. Start working, you stupid brain. Blah. Anyway, I like companionship. I would like to have more of it. But I guess if there is no one left, there is no bullshit on Earth left. I would be possibly very lonely. And it possibly could have effects on me. Maybe even drive me mad, but I think I could be happy. At least at times. Do you often seek an adventurous life? No. Would you consider yourself to be a risk taker? Usually no. If I can mitigate a risk, I'm usually not taking it. Would you consider yourself to be reckless at times? Sometimes indeed. Do large crowds give you anxiety? No, they don't. I mean, not anxiety as in I'm going to feel like, oh, they are going to attack me. It's not a mental thing, it's a physical thing. I actually can get winded in crowds. I don't know why it was. I mean, the building that we were in during MondoCon was not really well vented. So it might have been just the air, but I actually had to go out because my lungs were not working properly. I couldn't have enough of a breath, if that makes sense. Do loud noises tend to distract or scare you? Distract, yes. Do you consider yourself to be attractive in the traditional sense? In the traditional sense, jumps out of the window in a fucking cuntish. But no, I don't think so. I mean, I'm fat. I don't know about my face. People say I look like a killer, so I guess no. Do you believe that everyone has their vices? Vices, I mean, define vices. People need something to put their compassion, their enthusiasm into. Or, you know, to have something to bind down with. Is that necessarily a vice? Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't even smoke ciggies. I don't go out and grab myself a whore. I did it once. It's not worth it. Not because it's a bad experience, but because it's very fucking expensive. So if you are actually, you know, having a proper wage, then I guess it's worth it. But for a wage like me, post-wage like me, no. The worst thing I do is, you know, daily. So I wouldn't consider that a vice, to be perfectly honest. And I guess there are people who are better than me in discipline, so I don't think people necessarily need vices. They need something to distress with and shit, but yeah. Could you happily live the life of a professional thief? If you're asking about my moral qualms, no, I wouldn't give a fuck about that. I mean, if I'm actually professional about it, maybe. Like a politician. Are you confident in your ability to thwart off an attacker in a one-on-one unarmed combat? Confident depends on my opponent. Like, if I'm going against, I don't know, Brock Lesnar, my chances are slim. I would say probably try though, because I'm stupid like that. And would get my ass handed back to me on a silver platter. With, you know, even a butler in the toe. But against your run-on-the-mill strong guys, yeah, I think I could hold my metal. Do you work well under pressure? Well, I don't know. Hard, yes. Would you consider yourself to be goal-oriented? Yeah, I guess I'm kind of goal-oriented. For example, I'm making my TTRPG systems and stuff like that because I want to actually finish them. I don't want them to be ideas anymore. I want to put them on paper so it can be utilized. So I guess I'm goal-oriented. Do you work well with others? It depends on the others. The Ukrainians are just straight up couldn't work with it. Workplace. Okay, it's not actually true. I could work with them, but they needed like very basic level Hungarian to actually be able to talk with me. Because if I cannot communicate, then you cannot work together, just straight up. The work you are going to do together is going to be separate work you do on each of your own towards the same goal, but that's not cooperation. That's definitely not cooperation. But normal people that I can actually communicate with, yes, I think I could work well with them. Do you have a lack of respect for authority? Depends on the authority, like the Hungarian authority, Zsorban Digdor. No, 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 that fucker can get paprikad. To be perfectly honest, the current military head of military of Hungary can suck dick too, but the previous one, the old guy, that I would have less respect for. So in general speaking, which I guess this thingamajig is about, no, I don't have a disrespect of authority, though I need that authority not just to be told me to, but actually shown me to. Like if that authority is actually worth of all of my respect, because respect needs to be earned. Not by titles, but actions. And if you want to command respect all the fucking time, you need to show respectful actions all the fucking time. So that's why respect is of a high value commodity. Do you feel that everyone is treated equally? No, 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 no. People with less limbs are not equal to us. Straight up, they just cannot do the stuff we do. And also people who are gifted other stuff, like there are some folks who can see sounds, and because of that they make some very stunning artwork. So they are just straight above us in that field. And that is inequality. So no. Have you ever judged someone solely based on their appearance? Of course, I am a human being. Do you believe every person deserves a second chance? Deserve, yes. Getting a second chance? No. Because there are times when you just cannot afford to give somebody a second chance. They obviously deserve it, they have the possibility to actually turn out to be good, but if the risk is too high that they won't, then over they fucking go. If you were in charge of the royal dungeons, would you use torture to extract information from prisoners? If I need to, yes. Would you see yourself living the life as a royal advisor? Sure, if I get knowledgeable enough in a field to actually advise somebody about it, sure, why not? Could you see yourself living the life as a peasant? I mean, I was a peasant technically before them, though farmer is actually a better term for it, because peasant usually includes servitude to a lord or something like that. And I don't mean servitude as in, you know, serving somebody for stuff. No, you are serving them because you are their serfs. That's the thing. And also, peasants are serfs, but not all serfs are peasants, because you can be a castle serf, in which case you are doing maintenance around the castle, working in the kitchens, working around the animals, yada yada yada. And to be perfectly honest, I could see myself living as a peasant. Peasant, no. Still, Zoltan, you just said it's servitude. Servitude I wouldn't just do without any proper thing. Would you be willing to assassinate an enemy king in order to save your kingdom? Of course, why wouldn't I? Would you consider yourself to be a glutton for punishment? What? I'm a glutton, but not for punishment. I'm glutton for food. Feed me. Does the sight of blood make you crazy? I guess a little bit. Like, an actual little bit. It makes my hair stand up and have this weird going from the limbs up to the core of your being feeling when I see blood, but it's not something debilitating. I can work with that feeling basically. And I guess the question is about if you are easily disabilitated by blood, so I guess that's a no. Does the sight of blood excite you? Is that excitement that I feel? No, I don't like the feeling, so I guess no. Do you think you'd be well suited to manage food and ration usage for a marching army? With my current knowledge, not necessarily. I could instill discipline, I guess. Especially if I'm given the tools as for authority, not just the authority itself. You know, if I could court-martial people for eating more rations than they should supposed to have. I guess I could. However, with my knowledge, to be perfectly honest, if I read on that topic, I think I could take that knowledge. So I'm going to go with yes. Would you see yourself enjoying the life of a chef or baker? I mean, somebody's job, you know, chef or baker, that means that I guess they are free, not serves. If I learn it and I have nothing else to do, I guess I could be enjoying myself. I like creating stuff, and that goes for food even if it's shit. Yeah, sure. Could you see yourself being a bandit and stealing from others if you had to do it in order to survive? Well, I would certainly search for opportunities to break this kind of being because it's very unsafe. But if I had to, I would definitely do it for a temporary time. Would you consider to be yourself courageous? Well, I'm not a coward, and I guess you are either a coward or courageous. There is no in between. You are the run or not. So I guess I'm courageous, even if it's not necessarily a good thing about yourself. Like, sometimes you need to fucking run. And if you cannot see that for yourself, you can get into trouble and possibly get yourself killed. So in that case, courage is not a good thingamajig. But I think I myself as courageous. Would you consider yourself to wise beyond your years? Not beyond my years. Back in the day when I was a high schooler, people told me that I have more information about stuff that I'm supposed to be in this age, but I'm an adult now, so I guess my knowledge is at the same level as other adults. So no. Has anyone ever stolen something from you and got away with it? Sadly, yes. Have you ever stolen something from someone else? Yes. Do you think that an apocalypse is likely to come in your time? An apocalypse? No. Do you have a fear of the unknown? Yeah, I guess. If I don't know the... what's it called? The result of something, And I have a sneaking suspicion that it can be really fucking bad. I have an uneasiness about it. So I guess, yeah. If something hit you for no reason, would your first to hit them back? Yeah, I avoid and retaliate. If somebody robbed you, would you wish to seek revenge? Of course. Have you ever truly hated someone? I am currently truly hating someone. They should get paprika'd. Have you ever felt hated? Of course. If you hate somebody, they usually hate you back. As long as they actually know about it and you made actions towards that hatefulness. Do you view yourself as a hero at sometimes? I definitely don't. Do you view yourself as a villain at times? Probably not that either. I mean, with hero and villain, there is obviously the third choice of being, you know, an onlooker or just somebody going with the flow or somebody going to and fro. Consider myself a few times as an asshole, but as a straight up villain? No. I don't think so. Do you wish to live a life of riches beyond measure like anybody else? Yes. Would you be happy living a very simple, quiet life? Well, if it's a sustainable life, I guess. Are you actively pursuing your dreams in life? Technically speaking, yes. I want to do this content creation thing, and I'm also trying to be an artist, and I'm also trying to be a role-playing game creator, kind of a thingamajig. And I'm actively doing this stuff at the expense of my security, so I guess yes. Do you live a life of many regrets? Many regrets? No, I have regrets, but not too many. Do you know how to forgive yourself in order to progress through the hardest of times? That I do, yes. Forgive myself is a strong word. Starting to give no shit about the topic is more accurate. Would you consider yourself to be fortunate compared to others? Compared to others, yeah, I guess I'm better placed than Ethiopians. Do you think you could live the life of a blacksmith? Not with my back, not anymore. I mean, to be perfectly honest, no, you need back muscles for that. I said that whilst I said also battlefield surgeon or stuff which needs, you know, high mobility. I guess in the conceptual sense, yeah, if it's just conceptual, yeah, I could live as a fucking blacksmith. Well, now, I wasn't expecting you to answer some of those questions the way you did. I must say, I'm intrigued by your personality, quite eager to pick your brain a bit further before giving my analysis. Those questions were merely the beginning. Yeah, considering we are just only 1 hour in, I think at least there is still one more or potentially two more. We've hardly scratched the surface, but believe me, the most certainly will be breaking through soon enough. This next set of questions will challenge your decision-making abilities. Some of these questions may be easy to answer, some of them will prove to be difficult to the rational-minded. I urge you to make your choices very carefully and think about the potential rewards and consequences of your decisions. Are you ready to begin? This is not even a question. A rhetorical question, of course. We'll be starting now. If you were marching on the battlefield, would you rather have more rations of food or more rations of water? Water! If you were in the charge of a victorious army fresh off the battlefield, would you choose to take prisoners or execute prisoners? Take prisoners, they are valuable. In order to siege an enemy fortress, would you rather use fire or battering rams? I mean, I want to take that fortress afterwards. Actually, it depends. Do I want to take that fortress afterwards? If I don't want it to be there, then I'm going to use fire. But I guess I'm a little bit scroungy, so if I'm taking up... No, actually, it depends. Am I raiding or am I invading? Would I be raiding though? Nah, go for battering rams. Would you rather be in charge of stronger troops or smarter troops? Smarter usually means stronger. Like, smarter troops are more prone to actually follow your orders, especially if you tell them why they should do it. Would you rather fight against an army of the living or an army of the dead? The living, of course. The dead has the potential problem of, you know, not dying. Would you rather attack by air or attack by sea? I mean, air attack is obviously a good choice because sea is very limited to where is actually a fucking big bodies of water, whilst if air is an option, go for fucking air. Would you rather build your fortress in the snow or build your fortress in the swamp? I guess snow, because if you build your fortress in the swamp, there is a chance of it fucking sinking. So let's go for the snow. Would you rather rule with an iron fist or with a peaceful heart? A combination of both, I guess. But I would gravitate towards iron fist if I really needed to, depending on the situation. And I guess this is a survival thing, so let's go for the iron fist. Would you rather lead or follow? If it's a choice, I like to lead. Would you rather befriend an enemy or slay the enemy? The problem with befriending the enemy is betrayal, so let's be safe. If your supplies are limited, would you rather feed your army or feed your horses? The army, of course. They are the actual ones that are doing the fighting, and you can see in the history that feeding your horses doesn't fucking worthwhile. Eating your horses is. Would you rather have an army comprised mainly of fast but unarmored units or slow but heavily armored units? I would like to have a combination of both, but having a strong core or heavily armored units is better than having a strong maneuvering core, in my opinion. Depends on the firepower. If the heavily armored is actually helping them to survive, then of course. Nowadays it's not the chance, not the context. Nowadays you can kill a fucking tank with a fucking shoulder mounted rocket launcher. Yes, even a tank. Javelins destroy tanks, as you can see in the recent conflict. So heavily armed units is better as a core. Would you rather be an archer or cavalry? Both. I'm Hungarian, we do both. But I'd rather be maneuverable more than, you know. Would you rather be a spy or assassin? Morally, I would be a assassin because fuck people. I could do it, but being just a spy is a better choice because, you know, you are more discreet. Would you rather be a scout or infantry? Scout. No, not scout, infantry is what I'm. The problem with scouts is that you can get into a situation where you have to fucking fend for yourself, and I like to be in a fucking block of infantry instead. Would you rather bury your dead or eat your dead? Bury them, don't eat the people, especially the ones you cared about previously. Not just because it's morally wrong and you are going to have mental issues, but also because whatever pathogens, viruses, whatever the facts are in the dead body, you can get because they're the same immune system and yada yada yada. They are the same species as you. Cannibalism has its physiological consequences, so bury them. Would you rather be cursed with constant drunkenness or extreme fatigue? Fatigue I can deal with. Would you rather be superstitious or overly pragmatic? Pragmatic? Fuck superstitions. Would you rather be armed with magic or armed with weaponry? Which is stronger? Like, if I could be a cannoneer and the best magic could do is light up fires, then I would be a cannoneer. Otherwise, if there is magic on the table and they are actually as effective as they usually make them to be, I would go for the magic. If you were fighting a battle that you know couldn't be won and there was no foreseeable escape, would you rather surrender or go down singing? Depends. It really much depends. Is my surrender going to be a problem? As in, if I don't stop the enemy now, will they be able to just win the fucking war? If my sacrifice is needed, I would do it, I guess. As long as it's worthwhile for me, aka the country I'm doing the sacrifice for is going to use it well. And whoever the fuck I'm leaving behind are going to be cared for. But most of the times I think I would just surrender. Like, going down singing is a very morally good thing, but if you surrender and get, actually captured, you can be traded with other captured people. You can get back into the fight. That's more useful than fucking throwing your life away if the consequence of the battle is not that strong. So I think I would go for the surrender. Would you rather go back in time or go forward in time? Back in time. Like, just going forward in time is what you usually do. When engaging combat, would you rather use sword and shield or a two-handed axe? That's going to be a two-handed axe. Sword and shield overrated, especially because of the sword. Would you rather build and lay traps or organize ambushes? Both, and also organizing ambushes does include building and laying traps. But I guess they are asking if I would rather do the people part than the trap part. To be perfectly honest, it's 50-50 for me. Let's go with organizing. To determine who wins, would you rather engage in many skirmishes or a few battles? Whatever I'm good at. I mean, I'm currently having a core of heavy infantry, so I guess a few battles. Because heavy infantry is good for battles. Cavalry, fast troops, maneuvering elements, range units, those are good for skirmishes. Right now we have the fucking infantry, so few battles. Would you rather defend your garrison or attack an enemy garrison? Well, defensive warfare is usually better because, people on the defense have set up a position that they are strong in, so I guess I would go for defense. Would you rather train warriors or train spies? Both. I mean, spies are useful, but when it comes down to it, you need to have a fucking army. Would you rather invest in livestock or crops? Well, you need kinda both. But I guess crops, because livestock-wise they live, sustaining them for long periods of time is a little bit tricky, like they need to actually eat. Crops is better. Would you rather fight from a distance or engage in close quarters combat? If I can, I'd like to fight from a distance. Would you rather pray for blessing on your troops or curse on your enemies? Fuck the enemies. Would you rather be incredibly lucky or incredibly intelligent? Intelligent, please. Because I can be lucky in that way. Would you rather be able to raise someone from the dead once a year or instantly kill someone just looking down at once a year? Death glare. Would you rather build or destroy? I would go for the building. I mean, I like destroying. I have these urges to do so. But I know that building is better, and I also enjoy that as well, so let's go with building. Would you rather have the world peace, where everyone gets along despite their differences, or dominate the world and dictate what people do and when they do it? Well, world peace sounds good, but the problem is they are not necessarily going to work towards a singular goal. If you are the dictator, you are definitely going to piss off people, but you can start working towards a goal. If the world would be under a single regime, even under a fucking tyrant, if the tyrant says we are going to build a fucking skyhook anchor, the one that gets into space, a space elevator basically, then the world could potentially do it. Right now, with all these fucking countries and alliances and shit, no, we are never going to achieve that in this state of the world. So I would rather go for the dictatorship just so we have the opportunity to work towards a singular goal. Would you rather have the ability to teleport instantly or turn invisible? Teleporting, please. Would you rather forgive or forget? Forget I don't like, so I'm going for the forgive. Would you rather be the victim or an assailant? Assailant, of course. I don't like to be a victim. Would you rather be able to heal yourself or hear others? Well, there is more others than me, so I'm going for that. Would you rather trust an enemy or betray a friend? Now that is a hard one. Betraying a friend is a very bad option. Because that's usually just spirals down to having more enemies. Trusting an enemy on the other hand is going to be the perfect opportunity for them to be betraying you. Let's take the fucking dice in that one. Would you rather save the life of an animal or save the life of a person? Of course, a person. That's not even a question. Would you rather walk barefoot through the snow or barefoot through the desert? Snow, you get... you can lose your fucking feet. The desert, it's going to be very fucking painful at start, but your feet is going to get used to it. It's going to have its long-term consequences, but you're not going to lose your leg. If you had to defend yourself using a dagger, would you rather fight off a lion or fight off a bear? Lion, it's just straight up smaller. Would you rather camp for a week in the torrential rain or a single day during a snowstorm? Snowstorm! Torrential is like, you know, actually downpour. Would you rather kill or be killed? Obviously I want to kill instead of be killed. Would you rather enter a jousting tournament or a sword fighting tournament? Actually, sword fighting in that sense is safer. Like, tournaments weren't for the death. And actually, jousting depends on where you lived and what time period, but usually it wasn't get the fucker of the horse. Then actual tournaments were did. So you can put the tournament word on basically any kind of competition. And military exercises, so Because early medieval military exercises that people call tournaments for some fucking reason were basically like that. You actually wanted to push your fucking enemy off the horse because it was a military exercise. It wasn't as staged as later tournaments. It was actually doing a mock battle. And afterwards became the tournaments. And because of that, sword fighting was actually more safe, because getting fucking knocked off a horse is potentially lethal. Sword fighting is also, but significantly lesser, to a lesser extent. So let's go for the sword fighting, even though I would like to be a comedy. Would you rather enter an archery competition or axe throwing competition? Archery, please. Would you rather be a gladiator or soldier? Soldier. Not even a question. Would you rather rob from the rich and give it to the needy or keep what you rob for yourself? I mean, depends. I guess I could be Robin Hood. Would you rather be a bandit or the sheriff? I'd like to be on the good side of the law if I can. Would you rather be a bounty hunter or an assassin? Bounty hunter, please. Would you rather be a town guard or a palace guard? I mean, palace guard is safer. Also, you know, it's a actual increase in rank. Promotion, yes. Going from a town guard to palace guard is a definite promotion, so palace guard, please. Would you rather be a tailor or a carpenter? Tailor, I like clothes more than doing food stuff. Would you rather travel by wagon or travel by ship? Wagon. Would you rather live in the forest or live in the Rocky Mountains? Forest. Would you rather hunt or fish? Well, fishing is actually kind of relaxing. Hunting is not necessarily. Would you rather scavenge or forage? Difference? I guess I would go for the scavenge just because it's a more familiar context. Would you rather give or take? Give or take, give or take, give or take. I like taking more. Would you have too much food or too much water? Too much water is never a problem, because you can use it for something else. Would you rather have to cook your food over a fire or purify your own water? Purifying is also cooking the fucking water, so... It's easier though. Do you believe that war is more mental or physical? It's more mental, to be perfectly honest. As you can see in the current confrontation, if your soldiers don't want to fight, they don't fight. What is more important when training an army, morale or discipline? I mean, if they lack any of it, then they are going to falter. But even undisciplined troops are good troops if they on high morale. However, if very well-disciplined troops don't want to fight, they don't fight, so morale is paramount in that case, I guess. Would you rather starve your troops as punishment or beat your troops? Beating, that can be survived properly. Starving is literally reducing their combat capability more. Like, depends on the type of beating. I will go for, you know, just humiliating beating, you know, with a short stick, like 55 lashes. It's going to hurt, you are not going to like it. Having your armor on your body is going to be a bitch afterwards, but it's better than just straight up not having the strength to fight. So I would beat them. Would you rather attack during the day or attack during the night? Do I have night optics? If I have the advantage with night optics, I would attack at the night, obviously. On the other side, if I don't, I would attack in the day, like every sane fucking human being. Would you rather defend during the day or defend during the night? Of course I would defend during the fucking day. Would you rather fight to protect your own land or fight to take someone else's land? To be perfectly honest, from a morale standpoint, fighting for my own land is would give me a stronger reason to fight. Fighting to take somebody else's land, however, is preferable because, you know, if you lose, you are not going to lose your fucking land. So I'm going to for someone else's because consequences. Would you rather let yourself go hungry or let your troops go hungry? Myself instead of my troops. If I'm a leader, that is. Are you more likely to face your fears or find ways to avoid them? Depends on the avoiding. What is more useful in this context? Oh, more likely. Oh, sorry, that's not even a question in that case, because I would more likely to be facing my goddamn fears. Because stupid. Would you rather join a band of adventurers to go on an epic quest or form your own band of adventurers to lead them on a quest? Form my own band. Would you rather become a witch's assistant or hunt down an evil witch in the woods? Fucking hunt her down, because that would possibly be in the good side of the law. And I don't want to get fucking cat in prison, especially in a medieval one. Would you rather hunt a fire-breathing dragon or fight against an army of ogres? How big is the dragon? How strong is the dragon? If it's a singular enemy, I would go for the singular enemy. Especially if that army is an actual army and not just a band, so... Dragon. I think it's about time we move on from this kind of questioning. I'm a bit baffled, if I'm being honest. My early assessment has proven to be accurate. You are most certainly are different from those who come before you, Wanderer. I have one final examination in store for you. Good, we actually have time for that. I'm going to present you a series of scenarios and you are going to use your problem-solving skill to determine what's the best course of action may be. You will be presented 4 possible choices to solve the problem at hand. Some of the choices you make could lead to a certain death and instant failure. Some of the choices you make will determine just how special you may be. Again, and I cannot stress this enough, I urge you to make your choices very carefully and think about the potential rewards and consequences of your decision. Take your time with these, for the fate of your results lie within the next answers you provide. Now, let us begin and bring this examination to a close. You are tending your fields when you notice an intruder has snuck onto your property and is currently loading sacks of wheat onto a wagon blatantly stealing your food and supplies. By the time you catch up to him, he's already jumped onto his horse and taken off to the road. Your horse is in the stable nearby but has fallen in recently and needs time to recover before you can safely ride it. Your neighbor horse is nearby for the taking, but you and your neighbor are not on good terms and they typically attack intruders on sight. What do you do? Jump onto my horse, using its health to go after the bandit, not a good option. Take my neighbor horse without permission and raise the consequences. Take time and ask the neighbor if I can borrow the horse and reason with him. Don't chase after bandits. Yeah. I don't know if I have the time for that. Like, either going on the... I either go on the battles or... I mean, if they want to attack me, go on ahead. I will explain later, basically, if I can catch up to them. I will definitely return it to them. But risking my own, that it can literally just die afterwards. Horses are very finicky, by the way. If they are ill and you are straining them, they just fucking die. Although depends in the horse's constitution, but usually they do. I'm definitely not letting them escape. However, if I take my fucking time to reason with him, I won't have time. Wait. They stole our food supplies. Their horse is laden. Okay, actually, in that case, I might just go and try to reason with him. And by reason with him, I'm going to tell him what I am doing. If you try to stop me, go ahead. You won't. But yeah, because the assailant's horse is actually laden with load, they are going to be slower, or at least, you know, tire faster. So, in that case, we might be able to do. You are in a tavern enjoying a meal after a long day of foraging and hunting when a band of strangely dressed adventurers approach your table. They explain they come in search of a treasure in a nearby town and they likely to join them, as you know that area better than they do. In return for your assistance on this quest, they are offering 1/4 of the loot that's recovered from the tombs. What do you do? Accept, haggle, refuse. That's definitely not happening. I'm going to haggle with them because I'm a bitch. It's been a hard winter and your funds are low. You've run out of food and drink and it's a winter. I didn't run out of drink. You can melt snow. And you must go to the tower to acquire sustenance and fill your belly. You have just 100 shillings, which is not a just, that's a lot of fucking money. 1 shilling was worth 12? Yes, 12 pennies. and 20 shillings would make a pound, so that's 5 pounds. That's somebody's yearly wage. Anyway, you have 100 shillings to last you for a last month winter, and the price of meal varies from one to another. You're begging to scour the menu before making a decision. What do? Purchase a large bowl of butter potatoes for 3 shillings. Large leg of lamb for 8 shillings. Spend 5 shillings on meat and vegetables too, and stale bread and some meat. I'm definitely not going to steal, that's stupid. I mean, going for the middle option is actually better, because that would get me through 20 days. You and 3 of your closest friends and family have been taken prisoners for a crime that none of you committed. You were all thrown into the royal dungeons for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not even sure that what crime you are being convicted of, but all of you are sentenced to death by guillotine tomorrow at noon. The king has decided to pay your lot a visit and offer you a deal. One of you comes forth and blindly admits to whatever crimes you are being charged for, to accept an execution willingly, then the remaining 3 will be walking free. Alternative, one of you is willing to rat out one of the others first. That person will be awarded their freedom due to their compliance, and the remaining 3 will be executed. What would you do? Take the hit for the crimes and sacrifice myself to no. Blame the crime on one of my loved ones so I can walk away free. Stay silent in hopes that someone will step forward and take the hit. Attempt to fight knowing that it will most likely lead to an instant execution. Fuck this shit. Again, taking the hit. I know that it's literally suicide, but the numbers are better this way. 4 people, 1 dies, 3 lives. Even if that's me, that's just better math. So, I guess after living the life of a lovely peasant, you decide to save up enough coin to pay your entry fee into an archery competition. You spend all that you have to enter, and luckily you win. The grand prize for winning the archery contest is a sack of 100 shillings and a ticket to the royal ball being held at the palace. You own no clothes suitable, even walk through the door, so you stroll down the tailor's shop, buy some new threads. When you get there, you quickly realize that 100 shillings barely cover the price of such fine linens, and in no time at all, you are broke again. As you are headed to the bar, your fancy new clothes, your grab snags on an old tree branch and rips from top to bottom, leaving a gaping hole and exposing your bare skin underneath. You have not the time nor the funds to repair such clothes, and even if you did happen to have entered of those things, the tailor shop is closed for the night. You have an important decision to make. Go to the palace in a ruined, tattered set of clothes looking like a fool. Switch back to my common clothes even though I want to meet the dress code. Rob the tailor shop for a new set of clothes. Don't go to the palace at all. Those are unknown options, so either this or that. I mean, I would look like a fool, but I could salvage the situation. You're driving down the road, returning from the last market of the season when you are pawned of all of your excess goods to make some coin to last you through the winter. You're carrying everything valuable you possess in your wagon, and you hear that someone is traveling in a wagon. Should take Carol. Now the markets are closed. Should take care, now the markets are closed because bandits have been seen ambushing travelers and stealing their final season's earnings. As you travel along the road of home, you see in the distance a broken down wagon on the side of the road that appears to be missing one of its wheels. You notice a broken wheel completely split in half, laying in the dirt on the opposite side of the road. Standing next to the wagon is an old lady wearing tattered leather cloak. You have a spare wheel in the back of your cart in case your wagon happens to break down. What do? This is an ambush. Pull over and offer to give your wheel to the to the old lady. Pull over and try to assist the old lady in fixing her broken wheel. As you pass by, tell the lady you will send help, but continue on your journey. Slow down and say you will send help if you pass someone on dry onwards. Yeah, that's definitely an ambush. You are far from home when you receive word that your dearest siblings is sick and could die at any moment. They could already be dead by the time you receive the letter. You urge to make it home to say your goodbyes as quickly as possible. You know that there is no known cure for what ails them, and it usually brings a quick and miserable death to those it takes hold of. You tell a close friend of yours and the news, and they advise you of a few different options you have for travel. From the sound of the letter and the time it was sent, you believe that your sibling was maybe only a day or two left before they are taken from this world for good. The quickest route is through the mountains, but it's a treacherous journey and is advised no one travels that way until the weather comes down. Maya and Strom have been battering the mountain range for several months. None who have entered that direction have been heard from since they departed. You can take a lengthier but relatively safe route and arrive home within 2 full days if you travel through the woods. Then your friend presents you a third option based purely on rumor. There is an old hag on the other end of the woods about half a day's journey in the opposite direction. The old hag is said to have a cure for the disease your loved one suffers from, but you know not of its merit nor its cost or downfalls. What do you do? Fuck the old hag. Fuck that. Safer parts. Sorry if they are dying. That's it. Your king, Lord Fuck You, has heard word of your bravery and skill through the lands and called upon you for a very special but very dangerous quest. He wishes for you to retrieve his daughter, Princess Fuck You, from the kingdom of Fuck You. A treacherous and wicked king rings over Fuck You however, to prevent a war between the two kingdoms, which would have settled indeed in your kingdom's demise, but Fuck You has made the deal with King Fuck You, or Fuck You. Fuck You traded his only daughter, Princess Fuck You, so King Fuck You may betroth her. But Fuck You has grown depressed and saddened with the decision he made in an effort to save his kingdom. Lord Fuck You is willing to reward you handsomely upon completion of your task to retrieve his daughter. With all your skill and guile, you must sneak into Fuck You at night, kidnap the princess and bring her safely back home, all by your lonesome. That's kinda sounds stupid. On another note, if you are caught, it will surely cause immediate war between the two kingdoms, and chances are everyone you know and love will die. What do you do? Refuse the offer. I don't want to be responsible for war. Help the king get everything at no cost. Refuse the offer. The king obviously doesn't honor his deals. That would get me executed. That would be just an asshole move. That would be very stupid. Sorry. Welcome to medieval Europe. You're hunting in the swamplands, gathering food and various animal parts to sell at the market to save for dire times. You gather a wagon full of animals ready for processing, and you are about to head home when you see something glistening and moving in the distance. You can't believe your eyes as a magnificent beast of legendary proportions emerges from the tree line in front of you. It's known as the gemhide gazelle, a deer-like creature whose side is covered from top to bottom in large gemstones, gold, silver, and other various rare metals, which means it's possibly a fucking golem and it's hard to kill. Gemhide Gazelle was said to be worshipped in ancient times and protected by the gods themselves. Legends say encountering one in the world would bring much luck and prosperity to whoever laid upon on its beautiful form. You heard stories and folktales of such creature, but always dismiss them and considered it to be tales of mothers who tell their children at bedtime. But here it stands before you in all its glistening glory. Your wagon is already full, but you can't help but wonder what possibilities this encounter could bring to you. What do you do? Kill the creature and toss some animals from the wagon to make room. Leave the creature alone and go about your life. Attempt to capture the creature alive and keep it in the wagon. Follow the creature and track it to see where it lives. Either this or this. Curiosity kills the cat. You venture into an alchemist shop looking for a potion to help with genital itching, but the alchemist informs you that he is all about gopher root, a key ingredient for concocting such a potion. If your language uses the fucking thing behind your throat that is currently sore for me, like English does, fuck your language, speak Hungarian. He doesn't know when he'll get any more in stock and doesn't know where to find it, as it goes well in a far off foreign lands. However, he informs you that he just received a set of files of great power and has only one left to offer. Everything you own must be passed over to the alchemist in return for such a wonder. You will receive a potion that an imbibe grants one of 3 magical powers. The powers include superhuman strength, available by any mortal, the ability to breathe underwater indefinitely, and the ability to turn invisible at will. Don't know which ability you will be granted until you drink the potion. However, with all great things comes equal great consequences. The alchemist tells you of a side effect that has claimed the previous 4 consumers of the potion. While they did in fact gain the magnificent offer, they also suffered a horribly slow and painful death at random intervals upon drinking the potion. The first of which had no signs for symptoms for 20 years and lived a great life before dying. The second only took 3 years before falling ill, meeting his demise. The third is still living today. If you can call being bedridden with disease slowly turning your body into a festering flesh chamber living. But he got 40 solid years without experiencing any symptoms or ailments. Finally, the 4th consumer is the alchemist himself, who claims to be on the cusp of a groundbreaking discovery that could reverse the negative effects of the potion before they occur. With that being said, he isn't finished with his research and he doesn't know how much longer it might take. What would you do? Refuse the offer for the potion, give everything you have and drink the potion, give everything you have and save the potion in case he finds a cure. Yeah, that is definitely not going to happen. Maybe either of these, but I'm not going to give everything for a chance to do something afterwards, so that's a nope. So I'm either stealing it and possibly fuck over his research. Nah, fuck that. Your sibling has come to you, bleeding profusely and missing an arm, cut clean off their torso at the shoulder. They claim that they lost the arm in a battle and wish to go back to the neighboring village to take the arm of their assailant, and they are asking for you in assistance in the matter. Upon further interrogation, you learn that your sibling was attempting to rob their assailants' home and steal from them before being met with resistance. They are planning on leaving in the night after receiving medical care and cauterizing their wound. You don't have much time to make a decision, as they are dead set on carrying out their plan of vengeance even at the cost of their own health or life. What do you do? Go to the village myself to handle matters on my own. Go with my sibling to take an arm for an arm. Refuse to help my sibling is their own fault. Prevent my sibling from going and try to talk them out of it. Yeah, that kinda sounds better. You just made a great deal with a very wealthy customer at the market and are traveling home with a wagon full of shillings. You never had more money in your entire life, and your primary focus is getting it home as quickly as and safely as possible. As you are traveling down the long dirt road home, you notice a familiar face of a merchant friend of yours, along with his wagon by the roadside. However, his face is battered and beaten, his garments torn and ripped, and he is kneeling in the dirt surrounded by 4 bandits with daggers to his throat. He's about to be robbed and executed in cold blood, but a decision make needs to be made quickly. You have weapons of your own in your wagon and you feel confident in your ability to take on one or maybe even two bandits simultaneously, but fighting off four of them could certainly lead to the death of both you and your friend. What do you do? Keep on driving down the road and just get home safely. Safe option. Get out of wagon and attempt to fight the bandits, just like that. No. Stop the cart and offer both your carts for your lives. Attempt to run over the bandits, risking the life of your friend in the process. Fuck the bandits! You are traveling home from the market when you see a group of armed men in the distance. As you approach, they block the road and flag you down. They approach your wagon and tell you that, as ashamed as they are to admit it, they are not good people in the eyes of the law. They robbed, murdered, and pillaged to get by, and their numbers is about to be up as the King's Guards is coming for them, and we'll catch up to them in a matter of minutes. Use these! Do you see that? Use these more often. I cannot literally know what you are saying because you are not using punctuation marks. They ask of you if they can hide in your wagon just until the guards pass and assure you that you won't be questioned too much by the guards other than if you see any mercenaries in these parts lately. If you help them, they promise to guard you and work you for life. They vow to honor their agreement as is their mercenary code to do so. I don't fucking believe that. However, if you somehow get caught, you know that you'll be executed along with them once the guards get hold of you. What do you do? Declining is definitely a thing I will. Accept their offer and help them hide in your wagon. No claim to help them and then throw them in when the guards catch up. That's actually a good thing. That's actually a good thing. You are mightily drunk and sitting by a fireplace in a tavern enjoying a good tunes and a lively audience until you hear a loud and sudden thud. The tavern door swings open so hard that it hits the wooden wall and shakes the entire building. Silence fills the air as you turn your head in wonder. In the doorway stands a tall, cloaked figure staring directly at you. Notice that everything in the tavern has come to a halt. The music has stopped playing, the people have stopped moving, and even the fire has stopped flickering, as if time itself is frozen. You look back at the still figure before he begins to walk towards you. He sits down in the seat next to the fire, directly across from you, and gazes upon you inquisitively. Before saying a word, he pulls from his cloak 3 objects that radiate with such an energy that it sends shivers down your spine. He pulls up a small wooden table, drapes an ancient-looking tapestry over it, and lays the object upon it. In a gruff, raspy voice that I'm currently going to have soon, the figure begins to speak in a language you never heard, but for some reason you can understand fluently. He tells you that he has come to offer you a chance to turn your fortune around in life, but you must gamble with fortune itself. First item that he presents is the dead man's coin. The second item laid before you is a blackened rabbit's foot, and the third item is a tiny little fairy floating in a floating and glimmering inside of a glass jar. The figure explains to you that one of these items is cursed, while the other two will bring you incredible fortune. He tells you to make your choice before going silent and still. What do you do? These two are kinda no good, so either we are going with the jar or just refuse the fucking offer. Fairies have their own stuff, they can be cursed, but yeah. You rescue the wife of the town's blacksmith from disastrous fall as her wagon rolls right off a cliff. You happen to be the right place at the right time and manage to pull her from the demise unsafely and securely. Once the blacksmith heard of your heroic deeds, he wishes to repay you by crafting magical sword of your choosing from various rare materials he's acquired over time. Oops. You may choose an emerald of luck, which will bring you great fortune, a ruby of power, which will grant you great strength, a sapphire of intellect, which grant you a great knowledge, or a topaz of quickness, which grant you incredible speed and agility. What do you do? Make me smart. This concludes the examination. Thank you. This was actually quicker than usual, only an hour and 40 minutes. You made some very interesting choices, Wanderer. After questioning you thoroughly and assessing your skills, I come to the final conclusion about your chances of surviving in these lands. Firstly, I'd like to say that it's been an honor to assess you. Very few have ever made it as far as you have, and even fewer had results such as yours. Seriously? You're pulling this bullshit on me. If anybody played this game, they either stopped at the very fucking first things when realizing that this game shit and went to Steam to fucking refund, or alternatively, they fucking played the game. Anyway, let's just get right down to it, shall we? I, Malicious Decimus, have determined that your chances of starting in these sessions and forbidden lands such as this is approximately, yes, just as I thought. You have 87.9% chance. Yeah, if you give me fucking percentages, I'm just know that you are stupid. Of server based on your decision making abilities, quick thinking, and wits. There is always the potential for disaster with some of the risks you take. However, you've scored much higher than the vast majority who have come before you. You say so. Well done, Wanderer. Truly, you should be quite proud of yourself. Surviving here is no easy task, and it's certainly not for the weak-hearted. Before we end our examination, I'd like to give you something. A parting gift, if you will, which is going to be a motivational speech. I'm going to give you a word and I urge you to remember it clearly. Write it down if you need to, for it will benefit you greatly if you choose to use it properly. Your secret word is winner. Boys. Keep that word close and readily available, for it will unlock great things for you in the future if you are brave enough to venture forth and use it. Farewell, Wanderer, until we meet. No motivational speak? Thank you. Farewell, Wanderer, until we meet next time. Stay safe and stay bloody. Your result has been based on many different variables and may vary with each playthrough depending on a multitude of factors. We hope you enjoyed your experience and have learned a little more about how your brain works when presented with different survival situations, conflicts, and altercations. Take the secret word that was assigned to you at the end of your session and leave it in a comment for us. We will be selecting some of you based on your answers included in a future project we are currently working on calling Chasing Demons, which you can find on Steam. I think they have already finished that. I haven't checked because stupid, but I will now. We will also be taking your name from the comments and placing it in the credits of our upcoming RPG title as a thank you for your participation and support. We really, truly appreciate you and we look forward to reading your words and thoughts. If you left your secret word for us on other threads, we read your feedback and it's helped us to contrast blah 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 blah. We always blah 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 blah. Yep. Same deal as before in all the previous titles. Thank you so much for feel free to check out other titles and pay us money. Chasing Demons. Have they already finished this? Glorious. So, that's it. We finished this test thingy that I have should change the goddamn stream title about, but details. But yeah, it was a ride. It was a little bit less thought out than considering the test series, but I guess it was either made previously or with a different goal in mind. But I enjoyed it, I guess. Well, the constantly talking is hurting my throat, but besides that, it was a good ride. Yeah. It's only $2 on the store, so go and buy it, I guess. And also, dear viewer, singular, thank you for watching. I was Olanis, and I'm hoping to see you back in my den with Dying Light because I'm going to stream that today as well. Bye!